Hey guys, it's Mia, your mom, or just some random girl on the internet.
Ah, yes, very good. That's right, you are Mia. How reassuring. Now then, to those watching, this is our Mia, assuming her future children are tuning in. Hello. Yes, this is your mother. Try not to be too alarmed, and if her younger siblings are here, well, you already know she's never quite been standard issue. You see, Miss Mia has recently experienced a rather inconvenient traumatic brain injury. She's forgotten nearly all of 2025, including, regrettably, this project and the people in it. So I'll be narrating from here on out. Temporarily, of course. I do have standards. We'll carry on as best we can. Try to keep up.
And right now, I am suffering from memory loss and post-concussion syndrome, so let's talk about that. Not everything happens for a reason. Some things just fucking happen. Like this morning, I decided I'm gonna romanticize my life because I lost the last 3 months of it, don't remember any of it. I pack up my dogs, Pepsi and Winnie, I pack up my supplies, I make a whole little self-care picnic moment. I'm not even supposed to be driving, or out and about on my own. But I was like, I'm gonna live a normal life, so I decided to do that. Shut up, leave me alone. I may not be able to work, but I can still be a woman, So anyways, I get to this lake. No one's there. It's a beautiful, crisp 7:30 in the morning, Monday morning. Fucking, it's warm, it's raining, it's perfect. It's just me and the park rangers. So, I had my whole peaceful setup, my peaceful ass quilt I was gonna fucking make. It was supposed to be cute. And then as I get out of the car, I put my fucking key in my duffel bag and I lock myself out the car. Dogs, they're inside the car. Phone is inside the car. Keys, like I just said, inside the fucking car. So I'm just standing there in the rain, alone, like an idiot. So now I'm hiking across fucking Jurassic Park to go find a park ranger. Had to walk a quarter mile in wet grass, flip-flops, and full humiliation just to use this man's government-issued Nokia to call AAA. Guess what? I don't even have AAA. I thought I did. Turns out I'm raw dog in life. So I call my mom on his fucking phone. She doesn't answer. So I'm just standing there, soaked like a drowned cat, trying to not have a breakdown in front of the wildlife. I'm texting her on a stranger's phone. He leaves, starts pouring harder. I'm outside the car with absolutely nothing but soggy pride, waiting for roadside service. 45 minutes later, the guy finally shows up, looks at my car, and goes, "Oh, battery's dead. Can't unlock it." I'm like, "You better figure it the fuck out." 20 minutes of him finessing my shit with God knows what. Finally gets it open. Dogs come out, and guess what? They don't want to walk. They're like, "No, we're good. Let's go home." Then this park ranger, he asked me if I know anyone looking for work, and by pure trauma response, I start just talking about my ex. Why? I don't know. Apparently, I grieved the breakup for 3 months, but I don't remember the last 3 months. So, when I came out of it, I was like, "Where the fuck is my boyfriend?" And everyone was like, "What boyfriend?" So, I literally pitched my ex to a park ranger like I'm his fucking LinkedIn page. He asked for the number, and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have it," because apparently I've been blocked and everything. And now I have to pay, but at this point in the park, again, it's probably 8:30 now. The bathrooms don't open until 10. So I'm there, and the park rangers are driving by every 10 seconds, making it impossible to just, do what needs to be done. I will not elaborate, just know it was fucking, humbling. I go back, set up under the trees again. Dogs change their mind and suddenly will fucking walk now. So we go down to the lake. Pepsi, this tiny little feral, unstable, wet rat that I have as a dog, starts barking at the water like it's gonna attack her. Real embarrassing. There's a guy fishing. And the AAA guy, he's still following me. Not because he's weird, but because he forgot to give me the receipt.
Okay, we can go now.
And Pepsi sees this man, gets scared, slips out of her harness, and bolts into the woods. I'm now sprinting through mud, chasing a possessed hamster with fucking legs. And I shouldn't even be walking or driving or talking or doing anything but fucking sleeping, and I'm running through the forest. Look, like I can't fucking work. I can't lift anything or like see bright lights, but I'm running through the forest looking for this wet little motherfucker. My hair, it's done. It's curly. It's frizzy. Game over. Just got a silk press, but nope, not anymore. And then I try to film, you know, for this fucking moon pie project because I didn't know it existed until like 2 days ago, but apparently I knew it existed for like 3 months, just forgot about it. So thanks to my notes, I kind of know what's going on, but not really. Try to film, set up my phone for one angle, just one angle. And you know what it does? Falls into a park grill, like one of those big ass charcoal things. Ash goes into my speakers, my microphone is shattered, the audio is fucked, the footage is worse. And people want to be like, maybe it happened for a reason. Shut up. No, it didn't. It just fucking happened. Not everything is a test. Not everything is karma. Not everything is spiritual. Sometimes the day just sucks. And it doesn't mean anything. I'm not going to sit here and act like this is all part of some beautiful cosmic plan. Because it's not. It was just chaos. It was messy. And I lived it. Okay? That's all. And this is where I'm at lately. I just got out of the hospital from a concussion. Like, I was held there against my will, they said, for fucking 2 days, gone, brain fried. I forgot the last 3 or 4 months. Like, everything's a blur. Like a childhood movie that you've seen, and like you know the premise of it, like that one fucking zebra racing movie. Like I know it's a zebra racing movie. Can I tell you any character's name or like what happened or any scene? Not one. But like I know that I've seen that, you know. That's what everything feels like. You know, people are fucking texting me like, you don't remember so-and-so? No, I don't. And I could barely read your fucking text. Everything's fucking blurry. Apparently, I made new friends, lost those friends, had a boyfriend, lost him too. No memory of any of it. I'm being told I was living like my best life, making core memories and shit, building relationships. And now I'm sitting here like I was doing fucking what? Like, meanwhile, I had a friend during this time who also got a concussion like a week or a day or something before, completely fine, according to my other friend who I've known since middle school. No memory loss, no nothing. And I'm just like, okay, well, so what's wrong with me then? Like, what, am I fucking cursed? But you know what? No, I'm not cursed. I'm just alive. And life is unpredictable.
A puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out, and I know one thing. Each time I find myself laying flat on my face, I just pick myself up and get back in the race.
And messy and chaotic and unfair. That's the deal. You don't get to know the why of everything in real life. Sometimes shit just hits the fan and you'll figure out what it meant later or not at all. And that's okay. Like you'll be walking down the street and see a piece of gum. That's not a fucking sign. That's gum. Not everything is a hidden message from the universe. Not everything is a metaphor. Sometimes it's just trash on the sidewalk. Like your ex. If something is a sign, trust me, you'll know. It'll punch you in the face. It'll be loud. It won't be a puzzle. You won't have to decode it while spiraling in your fucking car, listening to Sabrina Carpenter. Okay? So just stop trying to force every bad day into a spiritual awakening. You're not cursed. You're not broken. You're not out of alignment. You're just having a fucking Monday morning in a rainy-ass park with your badass dogs. Move on. Keep walking. Take a nap. Wash your hair. Things are gonna get better eventually. But for now, it's okay to admit the day just sucked. Anyways, according to this project, there's supposed to be like a weird-ass paranormal thing that happens at this point. Like it's supposed to lead into like some sort of investigation. I don't have an investigation. So instead I put some B-roll and I'm just winging it. Sorry guys, I'm new. It's my first day.
Well, that was something, wasn't it? Miss Mia has now generously unspooled her innermost trauma for the benefit of her future offspring, her siblings, and, undoubtedly, the poor insurance adjuster forced to review this footage in a beige office under fluorescent lighting. I suspect human resources will be sending a fruit basket. And now, naturally, we pivot from mild existential collapse to local folklore and unsolved murder. Because this is what we do now, apparently. As I speak, Miss Mia is donning her finest ghost hunting attire, which is to say, a flannel shirt, sturdy boots, and the expression of someone who just remembered she left the stove on. She is, in short, preparing to venture into the dark. There exists a charming, if utterly misguided belief that everything happens for a reason. That tragedy is simply the universe redecorating your life. That suffering arrives with a bow and a moral attached. What nonsense! Sometimes bad things just happen. Without meaning, without symmetry, without justice. And so, armed with a half-functional memory and questionable orthopedic clearance, Miss Mia will now attempt to investigate what the court never could.
I'm here in Lehighton, a town that sounds like it could be anywhere, but isn't. In 1941, something very terrible happened here. Or somewhere near here. Or somewhere that looked a bit like this before Google Maps. In 1941, a man mysteriously died here. Some say from murder, others from gravity. Either way, he is not around to clarify. Some things just happen. Terrible things. For no reason at all, like pop-up ads in New Jersey. In 1941, a man named Pierce Rayrig died in a shallow patch of water behind a knitting mill. Now you might think, oh, how mysterious. Or, was he murdered by a haunted sweater? But no. It was just 22 inches of water, which is roughly knee-deep if you're a toddler or emotionally vulnerable. Some say the man was never guilty. Others say they have never heard of the case at all, both of which are technically true. This is the RNC Knitting Mill in Lehighton, Pennsylvania. It looks like the sort of place where jumpers were made, but it's also where a man's life unraveled quicker than, well, a jumper. Pierce worked here. He also spent quite a lot of time with a woman named Evelyn Christman. Some say they were just friends. Others said they were having an affair. No one said anything useful. Pierce even bought the bungalow next to hers, which is kind of like poking someone on Facebook in the 1940s, but more property-based. They went into their bungalows for the weekend. By morning, Pierce was dead, drowned in water that you could theoretically survive by sitting up. Some say it was murder. Others say it was unfortunate. The water has notably declined to comment. Was it a ghost? A raccoon? A tragic accident? Yes, possibly, maybe. Evelyn's boyfriend, Fred, was arrested. He confessed, and then he said he was coerced, which is what people say when they've made a terrible decision. Like cutting your own fringe or texting your ex, you up? At 2 a.m. 22 inches of water, enough to drown in. Yes, if you're horizontal and really fucking unlucky. Fred walked free. The court decided that everything was too confusing, which, ironically, was the only clear thing about the entire trial. Today, the bungalow where Pierce died is gone, submerged beneath this lake. Not haunted, just gone. Editor's note, fun fact, this lake that it's submerged under was the lake that I had like the worst day ever in front of. It's fucking Beltsville. Covered by a reservoir built later, as if the universe was like, you know what, let's hide this one. And this is where people like to say everything happens for a reason. But does it? Because Pierce is dead, Fred walked. No one learned anything, except maybe don't have weird love triangles near shallow bodies of water. Some say when you let the silence sit, you can hear absolutely nothing. Sometimes there isn't a lesson. There isn't closure, just a damp man and some very bad decisions, like piercings done at home, or trusting men named Fred, which might mean ghosts aren't real, or that not everything happens for a reason. Sometimes things just happen, like abandoning domesticated pigeons or the entire state of Delaware. Folks will still talk about this case, though not out loud, or to me, or recently. This used to be the site of an old yarn mill, which is a fancy word for string. This case happened here, or somewhere
close to here. We're not really sure. It was in this general area, I'm sure, at one point.
I think we need to do improv lessons, Mia.
Well, that was brave. Miss Mia has taken it upon herself to recount a complex, unsolved murder whilst dressed like a lumberjack with commitment issues. Charming. If you manage to glean a single factual detail from that woodland monologue, you're either clairvoyant or a former detective. Now, allow me to do what I used to do for prime ministers and Saudi oil barons. Explain things properly. It is June of 1941. Pierce Rerick, part owner of the R&C Knitting Mill, retreats to a bungalow in Big Creek Valley. He is joined by Evelyn Chrisman, a co-worker he may or may not be gifting real estate to. Also present, Evelyn's boyfriend, Fred Steigerwald, a love triangle or an HR nightmare, or both. By morning, Pierce is dead, not in a lake, not in a forest, in 22 inches of water. Yes, deep enough to drown in, if you're horizontal. And extremely unlucky. Fred confesses, then unconfesses. There's a trial. It collapses like my third marriage, publicly and with the unmistakable sound of someone lying under oath. Evelyn cries and makes coffee. Fred walks free. District Attorney Carl Nyhoff, utterly livid, declares, "If you want to get away with murder, come to Carbon County." Catchy. I assume it's now printed on the welcome signs. Meanwhile, Miss Mia failed to mention, because she was too busy filming her boots, that the bungalow is now underwater. Beltsville Lake, a literal body of water, a metaphorical body of evidence. Gone. This story has no neat ending, no grand reveal, just a dead man, a motive that vanished, and a courtroom full of people who shrugged and went home. And that, dear viewer, is why I'm here, reading a script off the back of an Aldi receipt, wearing a cravat I once spilled Chateau Lafitte on at a Mont Blanc gala, 2014 if memory serves. I used to host auctions for Fabergé eggs. Now I explain cold cases for someone who can't legally drive after sunset. And somehow, this isn't about mystery or fate or vengeance. It's about the kind of horror that makes no sense. No great evil, no divine plan, just a man in a puddle. And a justice system that blinked. Not everything is a sign, not everything happens for a reason. Sometimes the world simply fails, as I have, repeatedly. But I had cufflinks made from Peruvian opal, so at least I looked spectacular while doing it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm due at an abandoned Taco Bell in Allentown to narrate a cryptid sighting. It pays in gas money and expired churros. Cheers.